This is the second video in the dialer series. We're going to show you how to do some of the administration, how to create campaigns, set up lists, how to work with statuses, and basically this is kind of how you're going to handle creating everything to make a call with using the campaign. To access this is under Marketing, Dialer. So we're going to start off with the dialer campaign. So we're going to create a sample one. Okay. We give it a description, whatever you want. Answering machine detection will determine if there's an answering machine, and if you're using auto dial, we'll leave a message and move on. Active yes and no is if you want it actually active in the system. Dial timeout is how long we wait before we give up. Here you can give the caller what number to appear on the caller ID. Here we have dial method. Right now we have manual. We also have auto dial. We're still playing with that. Manual is what you're going to start off with right now. And that's what the other video basically shows it using. For now, leave this as 0. Dial prefix is if you need to call like 9 to get an outside line. You can put that here. It could also be blank. This is the audio file to play when we detect that it's an answering machine or you drop the call. So when you create a list, and I'll show you how to do that in a second, all the leads are in a status called new. This is not the Sunbase status as the dialer status for that lead. This allows you to pick other statuses that you're interested in calling back. So if you've already called some customers and you want to call back anyone who didn't answer or who hit the answering machine, you can do that. Generally, you're probably not going to have hundreds of campaigns. You might have hundreds of lists, or you might update the list and work that. So when you're done, you click Save, and it would appear in the list. Okay. So now we're going to talk about a list. So the campaign, we didn't have any phone numbers set up on there. All we had was, we had what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. So I go back to the menu. There's dialer list. I can create a new list. Home show 2. Okay. And I'm going to give it a description as well. Here I can assign what campaign that list corresponds to. In this case, I'm going to say Orlando Home Show. I could have 0 or more lists associated with a campaign. So I'm just click Save. So I called it Home Show 2. It's assigned to the same campaign. Okay. When you edit the campaign, there's a tab called Dialer List that will actually show you all of the lists associated with it. Now there's a couple of actions here. We're going to walk through these. This is the dialer call status. So as I said, when you first load them, they're all in a status called new. But if you want to reset them all back to new for whatever reason, you click that button and it prompts you. If I want to purge the list, I can click this and it'll say, do you want to purge all the records from this list? I click yes and they're gone. This will delete out all those phone numbers from that list. They're still in Sunbase. They still have all the information in Sunbase. They're just not part of the dialer list. Import leads, we're going to go into in a second, but basically that's how we put leads in the list. And then here we can view them. So let's put some stuff in there. So I'm going to go here and just say Duke. These are all the same filters as when you do a manage all. Okay, you can pick by territory, you pick by event. So if you go to Home Show, I go here, I can pick that Home Show, and I can load them in. Okay, once you filter out whatever you want, I go right here and say Search. So it found 10 leads in the system that match that. So I'm going to add them to the dialer. Okay. Now, when I go back to this dialer list, see how it now says 10 records? Well, let's say we want to make sure we have the right records. The last action is View Leads and List. When I click this, you can see the 10 records. Okay. Here we can see that status. Here's the phone numbers we're going to call, and here's all the names. So we now have a list that we can work. Okay. And when you create the campaign, when you run the campaign, it will show you how many leads are in the hopper and it will start working that list that's associated with that campaign. To get more information on that, you need to watch the other video. Voice files are for that answering machine message. Here we can add a new WAV file and upload it to the system. You can then click play and play it. I actually do have one here. There's also a play action when I click this. So it started to play the message. Okay. The last piece in here is reports. So the dialer has its own set of reports. There's a whole slew of them in here. As we expand the dialer to go more into incoming calls and routing and everything else, we're going to add more reports as well. But for example, I could go here and say an agent time detail report. I can give a date range. I can pick what campaign and say run. That gives me a breakdown. Some of these will show you information if there's no data there, like this one, where it's everything 0, so you at least see the column headers. Other ones don't. But you can use this to figure out each agent and how much time they spend waiting and how much of the time they spend talking. So there's a bunch of reports to use. Right now we're supporting a manual dialer. We are going to be doing an auto dialer and then a predictive dialer. So, all right, that concludes how to set up a campaign and how to manage the dialer.